For the record, we're not scared to say nothing. So damn, shout out to God MC. Baby girl, she was born in poverty, a crazy girl. Product of the cold street at age 12. She got a boyfriend, they do it all the time like she was a toy then at SS2. She's tested pregnant. She's dropping out of school.
First off, let me make sure my audio is on point.
It's so hard to handle. Tell him go get IBD. I'm a street mic, I'm in the street every day and night trying to get a cheese, I'm devious. I make you bleed like a chick on a period. So don't stop my shine, man. Cause my blood with a thick rhyme, man. Let's walk, let's talk. Street mics. I got a lot on my mind. It's cool. Piga kidevu.
Again, the Africans have so much to say about the Black Americans, but I think we know in America, Black folks ain't going for this. But here's the crazy thing. We know that this Chinese fellow is in an African country treating Africans like slaves. And what's worse is that there are Africans watching it, which means that they're comfortable with it. They condone it. And there's an African holding the phone, recording it and laughing about it. The Africans are still colonized, still enslaved mentally. They lie to themselves and speak of their culture and that they have morals and values. And really?
Now, try not to be upset because this guy here reacting, he's using some generalistic terms like, oh, the Africans, it happened in an African country and the Africans control it and the Africans are still mentally enslaved and colonized. An average person might listen to this and get upset because you're thinking, why is this guy generalizing? I am not one of those people. Maybe he's not the best person in terms of articulating what he's trying to say, but you can put those generalistic terms on the side for once and listen to his criticism, because in my own opinion, it makes a lot of sense.
Not much has changed since colonization. And I don't say this to deride the Africans. In fact, every 2 weeks, I have a meeting called SAS in Africa from our organization. And we have a number of blue chip items. Number one is Africa should be nuclear. Why? To protect from all these invaders, the Muslim Arabs, the white supremacist Christians, and many others, the Chinese. And also, we teach identity so that the Africans can follow this Bible. This is a three-sentence Bible. It's a three-sentence Quran. It's a three-sentence Torah, which is number one, be yourself. Number two, be good to yourself. Number three, be good to good people. Well, number one, be yourself. Be an African. Be proud. Know what you are. Number two, be good to yourself. Don't let people disrespect you, especially in your homeland. And number three, be good to good people. Be around good people. Africa's for the Africans, not for the Chinese to come and enslave.
So at the end of the day, it makes sense what he's saying. It might look like at first that he was being generalistic. Oh, the Africans are this, or the Africans, they claim they have morals and everything, but then they allow themselves to be treated in a very, very bad way. You allow yourself to be treated disrespectfully, or rather in a disrespectful manner. People come from other places, other parts of the world, into your country, and they disrespect you. They beat you up and you can't do anything about it. Partly because your government gives them the power to do what they are doing. But then again, we as individuals, we should actually stand up for ourselves, right? And that video came out of Kenya. It's not just an African general video. And I believe strongly not all Kenyan people are that way. Many people would definitely stand up for themselves. What actually makes it worse is there is a small follow-up video where that individual, or rather the individuals that we saw fighting in that first clip, they came together and basically the Kenyan man forgave the China man for kicking and assaulting him at work.
Tuko na neno na umamsamehe. Aha.
So let me explain what is going on here. After that first video where the China man was kicking and assaulting the Kenyan man at work, it's a Chinese company. They work in a Chinese company in Kenya, right? Because the Kenyan government is useless, right? Just like most of other African countries. They would allow foreigners come create jobs in their countries and exploit their citizens because the government was supposed to be responsible for creating an environment where citizens can create jobs for themselves. But when you create an environment where only politicians are able to create wealth for themselves by stealing, they don't create wealth because they invented something or they solved a problem. They create wealth from stealing money from the people, right? They simply allocate the people's money for themselves. So it made us vulnerable. We have powerful countries like China. They send their private individuals and corporations. They set up companies in many African countries. And because they are treated like gods by our government and even the people, then they get to assault the people. And that first video that I showed you is quite funny because the China man, even though he was kicking and assaulting this guy, it looked very weak, right? The China man definitely has no fighting skills. And the Kenyan man was only restraining himself because he wasn't trying to lose his job. And in this video, he's explaining to us that, hey, I forgive the China man. Look at the countenance of the China man. So humble, looking so, he has his tails tucked between his legs because the video went viral and he understands there might be consequences, right? Because at the end of the day, social media has become our only advocate because our government are not going to advocate for us. So we started using social media to advocate for ourselves. So after the China man seen that video gone viral, he decides to come grab onto this guy's hands in a very somber look, and basically they reconciled. So what do you guys think about that? China man gets to assault an African man in his African country, Kenya specifically, and then video goes viral. China man realizes that, hey, I might be in trouble, I might lose my business. And then they set up this video to show that they have reconciled. Let me know what you think in the comments. So we're going to the head of the African Union. He had a speech at the United Nations, and this is what he had to say. A very short speech.
There is no genocide in northern Nigeria. I think the complexity of the situation in northern Nigeria should push us think twice before declaring such or making such statements. The first victims of Boko Haram are Muslims, not Christians. The first victims, and I'm saying it with documented references. So the complexity in the northern part of Nigeria should not be taken, that easily. So what we are saying to those statements, with regard to those statements, is that the African continent is very complex. There is no genocide in northern Nigeria.
At the end of the day, right, this guy, Mahmoud Ali Yusuf, the chairperson of the African Union, let me make sure I have that title correct. African Union Commission chairperson. Yeah, I'm correct. Mahmoud Yusuf Ali. He looks like he's an East African, maybe from Kenya or Somalia, maybe Ethiopia. He's speaking about a so-called genocide in northern Nigeria. And he says there is no genocide. Now, he also said Boko Haram's first victims are Muslims. I think those two statements are quite true to an extent. But what bothers me in this is that he has carefully removed the middle belt where the actual genocide against Christians is ongoing. Because there is a genocide against Christians in the middle belt of Nigeria. In the northern part of Nigeria, there is also a genocide, but everybody is affected, Christians, Muslim, regardless who you are. But it becomes a problem when you go to the world stage and you're explaining to everyone that there is no genocide, thereby downplaying the suffering of people. Now, you would never find this same guy, this same African Union chairperson. He's not going to come outside to explain that, oh, after the the Tanzanian general elections, there was mass killings. He's not going to come out to say that. What they are going to say, their representatives from the African Union after another sham elections in an African country is the elections were peaceful, and the rightful owners won. That's what they're going to say. We have reports out of Tanzania that 3,000 people have been killed because of the new dictator. You know, they have a new dictator in Tanzania, a female president, which is absolutely crazy because we always thought that, man, these men that have been in power for so long, they are so evil, they are so useless. How can these men continue to ruin African countries? And then John Magufuli, the former president of Tanzania, one of the best during that era in Africa, guy was really, really pro Tanzania, trying to take care of his country, repair the economic disparities, and just generally made life better for the Ugandan people. But he died. There are so many conspiracies around surrounding his death. However, this lady, rather this female, because she's not a lady, SS Hassan, the president of Tanzania, she became the president. And everybody was celebrating. I even made a video. But in that video, I was saying, listen, I don't really know her character, but I feel happy that an individual that is a female can become a president. Maybe that would bring some change. But it turned out to be completely wrong. This lady rigged the elections in the most brutal fashion. She locked up all the opponents, everybody that was contesting against her during the elections. They ended up in jail. And then she ran the elections with all the opponents in jail. And she got a result where 98% of the population voted for her. Is that even possible? Is that mathematically or logically possible? Absolutely not. But that's how dictators behave. They do absolutely irrational things and they expect people not to react. So the Tanzanian people reacted, they jumped onto the streets. And remember, Tanzania is one of those few countries that we consider as a place with peace, a very peaceful African country. You know, Zanzibar, high tourism, calm people in general. They have a lot of problems, just like many of us have in our different African regions. But that peace was destroyed by this lady. 3,000 people killed by the police because this woman wants to be in power. Let the whole world know. Because eventually these guys have to pay for their crimes. You can't keep on killing people because of your lust. I don't even have anything else to say. But that's the story out of Tanzania. You're never going to find the African Union representatives condemning the leaderships. They would never condemn electoral results or electoral violence. They are always going to side with their colleagues that are performing the rigging in different African countries. Now, we're going to go back to Nigeria again. Just a short clip. Everybody now is milking the genocide. Hey, there is a genocide in Nigeria. There is a genocide going on. And it's true, there is a genocide going on in the middle belt region of Nigeria. The other regions of Nigeria, people are also being genocided by the government. It's not specific to a particular group, but in the middle belt of Nigeria, southern Kaduna, Nasarawa, all those places, Plateau, part of Kogi, part of Niger, they are being genocided, and it's skewed towards the Christians. We've had Christians getting killed in large numbers for over a decade, and nobody is coming to their rescue. So we now have many more opportunists from all over the world, like this individual. She's not even a lady, right? But whatever. Laura Luma, she's a MAGA supporter out of the United States of America. MAGA, MAGA. She has a conversation with Mike Arnold. Mike Arnold is a former mayor of a small town in Texas. But Mike Arnold became popular in the Nigerian space because in Nigeria, we worship these people. I'm just going to be blunt about it. A lot of us, excluding me, obviously, a lot of our people have serious issues, and we still worship these people. So they considered Mike Arnold, because he was a mayor of a small town in Texas, they considered him as a political bigwig that could add some value to their propaganda. One guy, one of these political clowns in Nigeria, Reno Omokri, brought Mike Arnold into Nigeria so that Mike Arnold would solidify his political games that he was playing. I'm talking about Reno. And part of the political games was to downplay the genocide going on against Christians in the middle belt of Nigeria. Because if he downplays that genocide, it makes Tinubu look good. Because Reno works for Tinubu, which is crazy because prior to this administration regime, Reno was absolutely going bonkers against Tinubu. But that's how the Nigerian political system works. It's never to the benefit of the people. It's always to people that know how to play political games. But Mike Arnold decided not to play in that political game, and he turned his back against Reno. But what's crazy is in this interview, he's talking to Laura Luma. Laura Luma is someone that she absolutely she hates African people. Okay. She sees African people as pests. She sees African people as people that need to be exterminated. And I'm not even playing. I'll show you some evidences. Somehow, she's trying to tap into this Nigerian Christian genocide because she's a MAGA member. And she's trying to make money off it. Listen.
Explain to the viewers why you call these camps in Nigeria where these Christians are living, why you're referring to them as concentration camps.
Well, first of all, there's no escape. They don't have. It's like Alcatraz. They don't have a fence, but there's poverty. There's everything. There's nothing, nowhere else to go. They have nothing. Everything's been taken away. And at least there, they have people from their community and all until it's bulldozed. They're sent there to die. They're sent there to be ground down and disappear. But I use that terminology specifically because I'm trying to put things in a context that people will understand. Right now in Nigeria, it's like this is 1940, and we're in Germany, and a journalist stumbled into Auschwitz. That's what we're looking at here. That's the level of the Holocaust that's happening. That's the level of the. There's between 4 and 10 million displaced people that are being denied, ground down, and suppressed. And it's the level of complicity. There is. I'm very concerned to see these policy analysts and wonks saying, "Oh, we need this sanction and we need this restriction and we need to." through this, embargo. People, the leaders there, they don't care. First of all, they're jihadis. Second of all, they'll just pivot to China. They'll pivot to Russia. That stuff's not going to work. The Neville Chamberlain approach is not going to work here. We need to realize this is the Nazi regime of today. This is the Holocaust of today, and we need to approach it accordingly.
Oh, I didn't get to the interesting part. That lady, Laura Loomer, in that interview, she goes on to start mentioning some of her MAGA colleagues, Tucker Carlson and some other people. She's talking about, oh, we need to bring these people to Nigeria to come see for themselves so that they stop downplaying the genocide. And then we're going to open a GoFundMe. They started a GoFundMe account to help with the genocide. Now, let me show you something about this same lady, Laura Loomer. She claims to be someone that loves African people. Oh, I love African people. Oh, I love my Christians in Nigeria. We need to go save the Christians in Nigeria. And that's why we need to be careful about who we believe. Because it's also understandable that a desperate man will find help from any location. If you're drowning, you're swimming and somehow you found yourself drowning, what will happen is if you are able to grab onto anything, you're going to grab onto it just to survive because you're desperate at that particular point, right? And that's exactly what is going on with us. A lot of our people are drowning. They have no hope. They have absolutely no succor coming from anywhere. So they grab onto anybody that says they are coming to rescue them, including these liars. Look at this lady, or rather this female. She calls herself, I love my African Christians. I'm coming to rescue them. But at the same time, her name is Laura Loomer. You can see this post from 2017. Someone posted that over 2,000 migrants have died crossing the Mediterranean Sea. Laura Loomer is celebrating that 2,000 are dead, and she is hoping that 2,000 more will perish because they're trying to cross the Mediterranean Sea. And this is the same individual in 2025 coming to tell us that, man, we love our Nigerian Christians. We are coming to rescue them, and we're going to open a GoFundMe account. The funniest thing about it is that, let me show you her face quickly. Look at what she looks like. Hey, bro, I don't know what this lady has been doing to her face, bro. But man, she needs some medical intervention as soon as possible. What's going on here? Is that Botox? Did she fill in the cheeks and the lips with different types of chemicals? I mean, everything looks swollen. It looks absolutely abnormal, right? This is the individual cheering for 2,000 more African people to perish because they are seeking a better life. It's insane. Eze, look, Eze says, we the Christians in Nigeria seriously need your help. I mean, Eze, my brother, no doubt, man, Christians in Nigeria need help, bro, because Christians are definitely being targeted in the middle belt, especially, right? At the end of the day, we all need help in Nigeria. Christians, Muslims, Nigeria is fucking us up badly, right? And the best help that we can render for ourselves, if we're being honest with ourselves, is we basically need to fight the government. That's it, because it's the government of Nigeria that has put all of us in this mess that we are in. And we need to come together in a unified voice and stand up against the government. The best approach is through a sustained protest. Honestly, when Trump put out those messages about, hey, we're coming to rescue the Christians in Nigeria, we can't take this, that was a great opportunity for the people to go outside and start protesting against a genocide. Because once the people went outside to start protesting, the Nigerian government because they are cowards. The Nigerian government officials are useless, absolute cowards. They can be big men when it comes to us. When it comes to us, the victims of Nigeria, they are big men. They are very, very bold. Oh, I'll crush you with my police and my soldiers. That's what they do to us. But once Trump put out 2 tweets, they started running helter-skelter. Do you guys remember? APC government, they started running all over the place, trying to spread propaganda, trying to douse that information because they are afraid of Trump. The Nigerian government is afraid of Trump. They are not only afraid of Trump, they are afraid of any other powerful nation. So if we started protesting immediately when Trump put out that tweet, they would be afraid to use their soldiers to kill us like they usually do. Not saying they are not going to do that, but it will be limited. But we didn't capitalize on that. And yeah, we have grifters like Laura Luma trying to take advantage of the situation, telling us that, oh, we are coming to save the Christians in Nigeria, even though we celebrate the death of African people, but we are still coming to celebrate to rescue the Christians in Nigeria. It's hypocrisy. And I really hope people will realize that that's how it works. And people will always take advantage of our weakness. So much so that Laura Luma has opened a GoFundMe account. Let me show you guys what this is, bro. She opened up an account for American people to start donating to her efforts to rescue Nigerian Christian victim genocides. Can you believe that? Look, this is it here. It's called Africa Arise, Africa Academy. It says here, donates to Africa Arise, Africa Academy. Look at this, $0. Nobody is donating to this scam because it's a scam. If you give your money to Laura Luma in the name of rescuing Nigerian Christians, you're seriously wasting your money. You've just given your money to a thief. Okay, so don't be deceived. Do not allow these thieves and these liars, these wolves in sheep clothing, do not allow them deceive you. Now, let's go to the interesting part of the conversation. I know that's why a lot of people came in. We have a fake pastor. Nigeria, bro, we have too many fake pastors, bro. And it's so nice to see them unraveling these days with many people now aware that maybe it's high time we took a step back from the way we worship religious people. Because, you know, in Nigeria and in many African countries, unfortunately, we put religious people on a pedestal. We put them on a place where they cannot be criticized. People lie and say stupid stuff like, oh, God said, don't touch my anointed. That's their next go-to line. God said, don't touch my anointed. But then you have these same so-called anointed fake men of God absolutely showing how criminally minded they are. Look at this guy, Primate Ayodele. He's a real primate in the sense of like gorillas, chimpanzees. That's what, to me, Ayodele is a chimpanzee. I don't know what he is to you guys, but that's what he is to me. So let me show you what he has to say here. And it's generating a lot of traffic. People are talking about it. But the good thing is there is a teachable moment in this. It allows us to realize that stop putting these men of God on a pedestal where they cannot be criticized. They are also human beings like you. And most of them are scammers. They are thieves. These people are liars. They are thieves. Listen.
Igbos, they are tired of this world called Nigeria. Hausa is not the problem, but the Igbos. Any Igbo can go against it. You can lambast me. You can.
That's
Igbos,
right.
they are tired of this world called Nigeria. Hausa is not the problem, but the Igbos. Any Igbo can go against it. You can lambast me. You can insult me. It's not my business.
You see,
it gives me courage.
Anytime anybody speaks in absolute terms, like Igbos are tired of this thing called Nigeria, that is a generalistic term. Don't take them seriously because that's not an intelligent way to speak. You can't generalize 50 million people thinking that every one of them think the same way. That's not how it works. There is no way on earth where every single individual in a group thinks the same way, especially if it's a huge group consisting of millions of people. It's not possible. Okay. And he also says, Hausas are not the problem. That's a lie. That's a generalistic way of speaking. How do you know Hausas are not the problem? How do you know all Igbos are tired of Nigeria? How do you know? And that's why you need to be careful about who you listen to, because a lot of these guys are not intelligent, and they show you these, they give these evidences. When anybody speaks in a generalistic way, he is not intelligent, and he is most likely a liar and a thief. Let's continue listening to this fake pastor.
It gives him more glory and blessing. Your insults. Igbo, they are the problems of this country. They are desperate of power. They want to rule Nigeria at all costs. And I've not seen them ruling Nigeria, even in coming dispensation. Let them bring, when 10 trillion will come out. Igbos, they are betrayal of themselves.
Now, Obi, whom I don't like, by the way, I can't stand the guy, bro. Obi wants to be the president of Nigeria, right? Does that mean all Igbos want to be the president of Nigeria? One Igbo man, Obi, he wants to be the president of Nigeria. He has a lot of supporters. His support group is a threat to the current APC administration, because APC is an absolutely terrorist organization that has completely cooked Nigeria. So the obedient movement came out. They put their support behind Obi. Obi became a threat towards the APC. And then the APC put out different propaganda groups, from religious groups, traditional groups, everybody pushing hatred towards the Igbos, because one Igbo individual decided he wants to be the president of Nigeria. Now, if Obi wants to become the president of Nigeria, does that mean that Igbos are the ones ruling Nigeria? Right now that Tinubu is the president of Nigeria, does that mean that Yorubas are the ones ruling Nigeria? Absolutely not. We, the Yorubas, are also victims of Nigeria. We are equally poverty-stricken. We are equally hopeless. And the terrorism is increasing day by day, even though Tinubu, a Yoruba man, is the president. So regardless the ethnicity of the individual that becomes the president of the country, the group, everybody else from the same group, ethnic group that that individual is from, does not benefit from that individual being in power. So it's another evidence of lack of intelligence from this fake pastor, Ayodele. And also, the people that follow these fake pastors and you allow yourselves to be manipulated by them, you're also unintelligent and you need to change. They are playing you. Let's just listen to this clown, bro.
People cannot control Nigeria. Let's be realistic. Let's be honest with ourselves.
If Igbos cannot control Nigeria, the Yorubas that have been in power, the Fulanis that have been in power, have they been able to control Nigeria? You give us the answer for yourself. Buhari was the president of Nigeria. Was he able to control Nigeria? Didn't he completely destroy Nigeria? Didn't the Fulanis become more hated as a result of Buhari's presidency? And the same thing is happening now with Tinubu. We, the Yorubas, we are becoming more hated because a criminal amongst us got into the position of authority. So it's never to our benefit as the members of the group that these guys come from. These fake pastors, pastorpreneurs, that's what I called it, because they are really entrepreneurs that mask themselves as pastors. So they are pastorpreneurs. They benefit from the entire mess. They benefit from the divide, the division. That's how they make their money. And I'm going to show you another evidence that this fake pastor, he was saying something now about, I don't even foresee them in the next election winning the election. They're not going to win. If you like, bring 10,000 OBs. They're not going to win. He is now delving into prophecy. You wouldn't believe that millions of Nigerians actually look at this guy as a prophet. we're in trouble, bro. They look at this guy as a prophet, bro. This guy is prophesying that in 2027, Igbos are not going to rule Nigeria. Guess what, bro? No group is ruling Nigeria. It's only a few criminals that are ruling Nigeria. That's it. And if those criminals come from the Hausa ethnic group, that doesn't mean the Hausa people are the ones ruling Nigeria. If the criminals are from the Yoruba ethnic group, that doesn't mean the Yorubas are the ones ruling Nigeria. It's just the few criminals from these groups that are ruling and ruining Nigeria. Let's finish up with what this clown has to say. An absolute fake pastor and a clown.
But they don't understand. Instead of them to seek wisdom, they are flexing muscle. And that's not the answer. That's what Tinubu does not even know. Obasanjo, who is advocating for them, they are the one who spoil it. All these Obasanjo, Yakubu Gowon, who are they? Many of them. So Obasanjo wants to make amendment now, when it's too late. Tell the Baba to go and sleep. We can't make any amendments.
Hey, I want you guys to do me a favor. Okay, let me show you something quickly. Click on the like button, subscribe to the channel, share the video. Do me that favor, please. That's all I ask from you. Click on that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share the video. Thanks.
Igbo, there's an error at the beginning. A course is on you. If you don't reverse that course, Igbo, you can't be president of anything in Nigeria.
So for this guy, right, you need to understand the psychology. To them, to people like this, it's a bragging right for them that someone from their ethnic group is the president of Nigeria. And we also need to remember that regardless who the president of Nigeria is, 75% of the population is living in multi-dimensional poverty. Right now, as it stands, Nigeria has the lowest life expectancy in the entire world at 48. 48 years old is the life expectancy in Nigeria. Are you following me? Nigeria is also the poverty capital of the world. Number 1 is Nigeria. Number 2 is India. Number 3 is Congo. We all understand India has a lot of problems. They have a lot of poverty. But they have a huge population, over 1.4 billion people. But somehow, Nigeria still takes the lead in the number of people living in multi-dimensional poverty in the world over India. So that lets you know that regardless where someone is from that is in control of Nigeria, the poverty remains, it's perpetual, the hopelessness remains, and clowns like this that think it's a bragging right for them. And there are millions of them, millions and millions of Nigerians are this way. They think it's a bragging right for them that someone from their ethnic group is in control of the country. But it actually isn't. The moment individuals like, what's his name now? Primate Ayodele, chimpanzee Ayodele, the moment chimpanzees like this lose their ability to make money off this failed system, they start telling the truth. But right now, because they are beneficiaries of the system, they have millions of gullible people that pay them money because they look at them as so-called men of God. Then they are benefiting from the system. So they have the bragging rights at the moment. So please, people, don't take these types of individuals seriously. They are absolutely useless.
Note and underline wisdom, understanding, knowledge.
I have a final evidence for you, just to prove that this individual that you guys call man of God, oh, he's a man of God, touch not my anointed. Look at what Mr. Man of God is doing with his time. And a lot of you guys are guilty of the same thing. We get so distracted easily. We are literally sitting in the middle of a potential mega catastrophe in Nigeria. Like everything is about to blow up at this point. Like there is so much tension everywhere. People are so frustrated. But the moment you bring in Big Brother Nigeria, whoo, just show an average Nigerian that is hopeless. Just show that individual Big Brother Nigeria, or show that individual Arsenal versus Chelsea, Liverpool versus Manchester United, European Soccer League. Or better still, show them anything about, oh, Burna Boy, Davido, Wizkid. Boy, they forget about their poverty immediately. They become distracted. They immediately start singing the praises of, it's a mess. I don't know, man. We have serious psychological issues. Mass psychosis. It's part of the reasons why we are stuck where we are. Because it's so difficult to galvanize people suffering from mass psychosis to do the right thing, which is to fight against the government and get them the hell out of here. Get this government and this entire system out of here. Overhaul the entire system. We need a revolution. The revolution has been due in the last 10 years, but we are still here suffering and we just don't do anything about it. That's why this clown, look at this clown, a fake pastor that was saying, Igbos are the problems of Nigeria. Look at what he has to say here.
Liverpool will beat Luton very well. Liverpool will beat them more than 2 goals. Man City will beat them more than 2 goals. Liverpool will beat Luton very well. Liverpool will beat them more than 2 goals. Man City will beat them more than 2 goals.
They know how to play the mind games. They know exactly what you love. They know that you love European Soccer League more than your life in many cases. And the reason I say that is many of you, you're living in hopeless conditions, you're suffering. But instead of you to be angry and channel that your energy towards organizing yourselves and finding a way to protest against this evil system that has kept you hopeless, you would rather just go watch Liverpool versus Manchester City, and you'd rather argue with your fellow hopeless people about it. Manchester is the best club. Liverpool fans are crying because we Manchester, we are the best in the world. I don't know what's wrong with us, bro. Like it's so depressing sometimes when you think about the Nigerian Wahala, right? This fake pastor here is doing his predictions. I guess it's prophecy. It's some sort of prophecy. Liverpool will beat Luton with 2 goals. I, prophet, I say that. He even has a TikTok account. He posted that shit on his TikTok. Liverpool will beat Luton with 2 goals.
Liverpool will beat Luton.
I wish I could hear this guy predict Big Brother Nigeria. That's what he needs to predict. He'll get more followership. Once you're preaching about soccer, European soccer, you're preaching about Big Brother Nigeria. Oh, Tacha is going to be the winner. This or that lady does not know what she's doing. Or you're preaching about Wizkid versus Davido. We the 30 billion gang, we the supporters of Davido, we are better than you losers that are the supporters of Wizkid and Burna Boy. That's what they've turned the people into, mass psychosis. If this fake pastor should open up another channel and he starts predicting about BBN, Big Brother Nigeria, the Nigerian celebrity gossip, he's going to make so much money. That's my advice for him. And then finally, we're going to go to Uganda before we wrap up this conversation. Click that like button, folks. Please subscribe to the channel. Share that video. Just do me that favor. Let me know where you're watching from. You can put it in the chat. Let me know if you enjoy the content. Let me know your criticism. No problem. We're going to go to Uganda. Another serious issue. Oh, actually, we have Uganda and Burkina Faso. In the Ugandan case, it's more like sometimes it's not all about negative news, even though Uganda is also full of negativity, negative news. They have Yoweri Museveni. He has been terrorizing Uganda since 1986. Yoweri Museveni, he has been the president of Uganda since 1986, and he completely destroyed Uganda. Completely. Well, not completely, because Uganda still has hope. Once they can find a way to get rid of Yoweri Museveni, his political party, and any ideology that supports such institution, once the Ugandan people can figure out a way to get rid of that, they are definitely hopeful, because Uganda is a beautiful country at the end of the day. But we have members of their parliament, they are going at it again. Hey, Mekus, thank you, Mekus. Mekus says it's a useless fake pastor. I agree, bro. Primate Ayodele is an absolute useless fake pastor that in all reality, someone like Ayodele should have been investigated for spreading hate speech, because I consider that as hate speech. If you are generalizing an entire group of people, then you are gaslighting them. And that is hate speech. That's hatred. It should have been investigated. But he's not going to be investigated because he is a member of the establishment. He is the religious wing to the APC terror group. APC, they call themselves a political party. But to us, the victims of Nigeria, they are a terror group, a terrorist organization that brought in Fulani jihadist terrorists that are massacring people. They brought in Lakurawa terrorists. They brought in ISWAP terrorists. They brought in Bermuda terrorists. They brought in Fulani herdsmen. Now we have about 5 different other terror groups. Boko Haram was brought in by PDP. So PDP is the first terror group. APC is the second terror group. And all they deliver to Nigeria and Nigerians is a life of poverty, multi-dimensional poverty, and terrorism. And now that PDP has kicked the bucket, almost official, PDP is about to be destroyed, all thanks to APC, which is crazy that I have to say that, all thanks to APC, but PDP is obliterated at this point, and APC will also be obliterated at some point in the future. But let's go to Uganda. We have the member of parliament. Listen to this.
The water strips the copper depots into the water bodies. And it's the same water body that is used as drinking water. Mr. Speaker, I think this is a disaster that it could cause an extinction of an entire community. As a matter of emergency.
Point of procedure.
Because the English that is trying to put this matter here is confusing a number of us and making us miss a very serious issue that is affecting very many people, even in the countryside. I am straining myself to understand him, and yet he's saying a very serious issue. And Mr. Speaker, next time Mr. Atikens is supposed to present, he needs to speak the common English of Uganda. We are tired of this, yeah. He gives us a paper and we follow word by word because the English is too much. We are just from campaign.
So, Honorable,
that the war.
So that was funny. I think that was extremely funny. But at the same time, it's a very, very serious issue. It only shows me what I can explain from this is how serious these politicians are. The one that was speaking Fune, this guy, the male politician, he was trying to pass a message across, and the message makes sense. I'll leave that as that. The female politician, instead of focusing on the message, she's focusing on the messenger and his delivery. And that's just stupid. If you ask me, that doesn't make sense. But it also creates a comedic atmosphere where people are laughing and they are thereby downplaying the seriousness of the issue. Because we are talking about water pollution. People are allowing leachates into the rivers and it goes downstream. People that consume that water that is polluted by heavy metals, they end up getting sick in a country without proper medical infrastructure or amenities. You see? So it's a problem. It's a real problem. But unfortunately, the politicians are mostly useless, right? When they fall sick, they simply travel to Europe. That's how it works. They don't give a damn about the Ugandan hospitals or the hospitals in Africa. They simply travel abroad because there is so much impunity. And it's left for us, the people, to chase these people away, period. We have to find a way to revolutionize our spaces, our societies. We understand that we have clowns in the position of leadership and they have clownish ideologies. So it's left for us, the people, regardless what part of Africa we're from, to revolutionize the system, chase away these criminals, chase away their ideologies, and then we can start rebuilding from scratch. That's it. That's pretty much it. What is the solution? It's always the people, man. The people, we have the powers. If we can gather ourselves in large numbers and protest, it always works. It always shakes these people to the boots. Unfortunately, in Tanzania recently, after the people marched together in large numbers after the fake election that Hassan, the president, rigged herself to winning 98% of the votes, 3,000 people were killed in Tanzania. And the world is silent about it. The African Union is not condemning what is going on in Tanzania. The East African Community Bloc, their leadership, they're not condemning what is going on in Tanzania. They don't see anything wrong in an election where 98% of the people voted for someone. Is that even possible? If 98% of the people voted for someone whereby the opposition members, the other people they could have voted for, are all in jail because the current president locked them up illegally, that is a problem. But the African Union is never going to report about it. And the East African Community Bloc is not going to report about it. So that's part of the African Wahala, right? Bekusman, fake man of God, the betrayals, false man of God's, the betrayals in their blood. My brother, I tell you, man. So we're going to end this up with Burkina Faso. At least we have good news out of Africa. It's not all gloomy, doomy. It's not all negativity. We have something good coming out of Burkina Faso. I'll be honest with you. I'm highly, highly rooting for Burkina Faso. Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger, they happen to be the first truly independent African countries that are slowly building their countries. They took over power. They revolutionized the system. They kicked out the criminals that have been in power, right? And then they changed the ideology. They are no longer following a democratic system. I honestly think the democratic system is not really working. Like the fundamental democratic system that we are all accustomed to, it doesn't really work in Africa like that, right? I don't think it does. Because look at this, Burkina Faso, now they have emergency medical services in a part of Burkina Faso and it's free. I have never heard of that ever in sub-Saharan Africa. Maybe they have in South Africa to an extent, maybe in Botswana, maybe Namibia. Apart from those three countries in sub-Saharan Africa, Botswana, Namibia, and South Africa, I do not think there is any other sub-Saharan African country that has emergency medical services that are functional and that is free. But Burkina Faso has launched something similar.
Who also launched the regional branch of the Emergency Medical Assistance Service, SAMU. This branch represents a significant step forward in strengthening the national healthcare system. The ribbon-cutting ceremony with Bamakanyanik Dabiri and Kaduro Menki.
The country's second Rapid Health Intervention Brigade, which is now being deployed.
After Ouagadougou, the Emergency Medical Assistance Service SAMU is now being established in Bobotu-Lassau, with the regional branch officially launching its activities in the presence of the country's top authorities and in the speech of the head of government. Here, as stated by the Minister of Health, it is clear that the mission assigned to SAMU is to provide appropriate and effective care to all Burkinabe people.
Today's ceremony further solidifies the commitment of His Excellency, the President of FASO, Head of State, Captain Itayu Traoré, has provided better care to the people of our country. Thus, SAMU is gradually being deployed to strengthen the health system's capacity to save more lives and to effectively handle all situations of distress and medical emergencies, especially in the current context we are experiencing, and to ensure that these services are equally accessible to everyone without any division. The government has decided that emergency care provided by SAMU will be free for everyone, so that no Burkinabe loses their life due to a lack of means for first aid.
SAMU thus comes to strengthen the first aid system. It directs the patient to the appropriate service according to their health condition.
Emergency care, our priority. That is your motto. You must embrace the core values that you have incorporated into your own strategic plan, namely proximity, promptness, efficiency, humanity, equity.
Let me be honest, although I love Burkina Faso and I love Traore, I love Niger Republic, I love Mali, I love the AES. I really, really love what they are doing in the AES, Alliance of the Sahel. I still, we've been beaten up so many times in Africa by our government that when government officials start speaking too much English, I become suspicious. When this guy starts saying stuff about our commitment is this, that, this, it sounds very good, but I became suspicious. But at the same time, I'll give them the benefit of doubt because they've been doing good for like 2-3 years now. And all I can do is hope that they are able to sustain this initiative. They now have SAMU. I guess it's like a subcontractor that provides emergency medical services to supplement, or rather to complement, first aid services in Ouagadougou and Boba Dioulasso. So that's a good move. I really hope they are able to sustain this. And I really hope they are able to continue growing, because a lot of us that are bragging about the AES, telling everybody else that the AES is the only true independent bloc in Africa. We don't want to be disappointed in the future if anything negative happens. So we're not even going to speak anything negative to them. Wishing the AES nothing but the best. And thank you guys for joining the African Wahala today. Hey, guys, have you clicked on the like button? Have you subscribed to the channel? I will be back. Thank you for joining the African Wahala. Salute to you guys. Peace.
Struggle since the 60s, you will see nothing but betrayals by the petty bourgeois elements in our society. The African bourgeoisie is the most corrupt bourgeoisie in the world. In Africa, they seek luxury in the midst of mass suffering.
For what is what, I ain't trying to round my luck this game up. I ain't trying to show skills till the brothers paid up. Emotions got me feeling like one time, like a fade up. I wanna talk all that money, but I ain't got my weight up. Now I see life like trading knuckles in a fist fight. The insight that I acquire from the skills and eyesight. The street life you glorify is a mean life. The weak, strong, wicked, everybody living still dies. Back in the days I used to master these rap shit, rapping fantastic. Flick words like vocal gymnastics. Started with some slow words like nigga is spastic. I melt mics with these words like fire to plastics. I really miss them days. We used to throw dice. Barefooted, now we making dough. We're buying 2 Nikes. Taking misses on a cruise. Dinner in the moonlight. We having dinner stuck in black. It's to be like 2 shots.
But you must not think that they represent the people. They only represent their opportunistic self, using the people every step of the way.
Hey you, I'm sleeping, I'm falling, I'm reaching out to higher powers. The God in me, the God in you, not the Messiah liars. I breathe the breath of life to you all like I'm Jeremiah. I'm innovative with the vocab like I'm Zebediah. My dreams me drag on, but I still speed fire. And if you talk to you decrease, we give you more fire. Quick fire with the power 1,000 volts of live wires. Cause evidently and lyrically I'm top tier. Let the shirts ring out, let the voice ring out. Let the revolution begin without a doubt. Give me the Molotov, let me swing one in. It's true life with freedom, but feeling is one thing. I took the game to its threshold, I took the will. I read it out like a crooked lawyer. You take this and you take that, and none to your brother. These two hands, what's the face and one, what's the other?
Here then the masses must come without pity and without mercy to trample upon these reactionary pigs who after the people have gained struggle through their blood come to hand back the gains on a silver platter.
IGMC sell them the sweat to this conscience. Speak more repertoire, talking more recompense. TikTok rappers talking tough in their content with more rubbish like an average Nigerian conference. Living this life is like dying every day. The weed smoke, the alcohol, the sex and foreplay. I realized the game is trying to dose me with the poison. I took myself out, I made peace with the noises. Now I lay back and tell myself I got a spice in it. God, man and conscience, GMC, no one hyping it. Listen well, listen to these words, no one hyping it. If some go hiking it, double C's, I dicing it. Elevated consciousness, each one teach one. Celebrated ruggedness, take one, give one. They say the family lose when the family fuse, but it's real when you gotta cut your family loose.
Thus, not only is the revolution inevitable, but it is clarifying itself and it is qualifying itself. For the African masses everywhere, the clairpoised position now for class struggle has become inevitable and irreversible. With our struggle since the 60s, you will see nothing but betrayals by the petty bourgeois elements in our society.